Okay, hopefully she's just going to show up late because she knows where she's supposed to put her instrument. North of Vanderbilt. So we're sitting around putting I'm going to move it. It'll be fine. Okay, just if you see her, send her up with your stuff.
Okay. Good evening. I'm Dr. Krista Antonis, principal at Whitfield Elementary School, and I would like to welcome you to this year's spring concert. We have 3 wonderful performances for you today, and the students have worked very hard to put this all together, so if you could please remain seated between the musical selections and wait until the end of the concert before leaving, the students would really appreciate it. So while I make my way on stage to join the orchestra, I'm going to turn this over to our narrator for the night, Miss Jeannie McCrae.
It is my pleasure to introduce to you the Whitfield Elementary Orchestra under the direction of Michelle Lakatzis. Did you know that Mozart wrote Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star? Mrs. Lakatzis heard this song in her head while listening to Gypsy Love Song and thought they would mash up very well together. Listen closely when you hear the 2 songs playing at the same time. Enjoy Wolfgang and the Gypsy Star. French folk song is a lovely melody that gives our beginning students a chance to show off their memory skills. We begin the song with 3rd grade students soaring on the melody. Using 8 different notes in a 3/4 beat pattern, the students glide their bows with ease. Second, we add in 4th grade, then 5th grade strings with gleaming harmony. It's time to shine, orchestra. as 4th and 5th graders add a sparkle of harmony to add a new dimension to this familiar tune. We are thankful that Ludwig wrote this amazing music for us to play, and we are joyful to play for you. The Water is Wide is considered to be a traditional British folk song. Each section of the orchestra has their own unique part intertwining to create an emotional masterpiece. A huge thank you to Evelyn Melograno for putting her interpretation of this song into dance for us this evening, and to Sarah Lonato for coming back to play with the piano and share her talent with us. This song evokes deep emotions, and we would like to dedicate this song to our friend Jim Heilman. May peaceful waters flow. Mrs. Lakatzis absolutely loves composing songs for her orchestra to play. Viking Celebration is getting its debut tonight. She paints a story with musical notes for each instrument and grade level. What do you hear happening in this song? Instead of telling you the story, create your own from the musical landscape. Close to the orchestra's heart. We have a lot of students memorizing this iconic song. The sound of music is alive and well in our orchestra. We would like to dedicate this song to Mrs. Sands, who always inspired us with the sounds of music. Your wondrous talent will be missed very much at our school.
Energetic, positive, glittery, fantastic, awesome. These are all words to describe Mrs. the Katzis. Whenever you walk by the orchestra room and into the gym, you can always count on there being a smile on your face. The reason for this is because you can hear Mrs. DeKatzis teaching students how to play their instruments, and the sound is wonderful. At concerts, including this one, she puts glitter on the kids, and you can see all the students shine bright. All of this is because of Mrs. DeKatzis. The orchestra students would like to thank you for all of the things you do for us.
Can you believe the Beatles have been popular for 50 years? It is outstanding that their music touched so many lives along the way. How exciting when young children, teenagers, moms and dads, grandparents, and great-grandparents can enjoy the same song. Did you ever wonder what it would be like to be in a rock and roll band? And now, let's give a round of applause for the Whitfield 4th and 5th grade band under the direction of Donna Sue Thompson. The band will begin their program with a bold and majestic fanfare that uses rhythmic phrases and high-energy percussion to energize the band. Imagine yourself watching fireworks bursting into the sky on a summer evening. We hope you enjoy Starburst Fanfare. Your Grand Old Flag is an American patriotic march written by George M. Cohen as a tribute to the American flag. Cohen wrote the song in 1906 for his stage musical George Washington Jr., and the song has become an American favorite over the years. Tap your toes and sing along as our Whitfield band plays their version of Grand Old Flag. Every beginner band student loves to play this next song. This pep song has become an annual tradition at our Whitfield concerts, but is often heard at sporting events throughout the year. Feel the Wilson spirit as our band rocks you with Let's Go Band. Mrs. Thompson would like to acknowledge 6 of our talented band members who participated in the PMEA District 10 Elementary Band Fest on April 28th. These talented band students were nominated by Mrs. Thompson to participate in a one-day rehearsal and concert that was hosted at Kutztown School District. In preparation for the festival, the students learned 6 band selections. They performed in a band consisting of around 150 musicians from 3 neighboring counties. Please join me in congratulating our 4 students representing Whitfield this year: Bryce Heilman, Christopher Sassarin, Jason Kaufman, Jonah Pertet, Edgar Feliciano, and Anthony Matta. Disney's Beauty and the Beast arrived in theaters this spring and has warmed the hearts of the audiences once again. The title song ballad is beautiful and demonstrates the use of harmony and flowing phrases. Imagine Belle and the Beast dancing gracefully in the castle ballroom and falling in love. We hope you enjoy Michael Sweeney's lovely arrangement of Beauty and the Beast. And now our band will get jazzy with an original composition by Michael Sweeney. Cool Blues demonstrates question and answer statements between the sections of the band. Listen for the walking bass line that also sets the tone for this bluesy song. Now let's get cool and enjoy some blues.
Mrs. Thompson, thank you for inspiring us to be great musicians. You always help us stay positive, and you help us grow more and more. Whenever any of us messes up, you are always so helpful. We will carry what we have learned throughout the rest of our lives.
In 1984, the blockbuster movie Ghostbusters was a huge success. Slimer and the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man are popular memories from the original film. In 2016, the newest version brought female characters to the theaters, adding a twist to the original version. Hold on to your seats as our Whitfield band rocks on with the theme from Ghostbusters. Ladies and gentlemen, next to entertain you is Whitfield's fifth grade chorus, who for the very last time is under the direction of Phyllis Sands. The songs selected were carefully chosen by Mrs. Sands. They all have very important messages that she would like you all to remember. First, you will hear a song about being kind and helpful to one another. This is Reach Out and Touch. Mrs. Sands cannot do music without having fun. Here is an example that adds hand rhythms throughout the song. I know you will enjoy this song called Hand Jive. This next song is about the future and how you never know what is around the corner. Many of us have big changes in our lives, and we face these unknowns one day at a time because, as the song says, only time will tell. One thing that won't change in Mrs. Sands' life is the need to encourage others to sing. This next song was selected for that exact reason. Mrs. Sands wants everyone to sing along for part of this song. It won't be hard to know what to do. Let's fill up the auditorium like never before. Let's sing Mustang Sally. Singing is one of the easiest and most enjoyable things to do. Singing can help us celebrate happy occasions or help us feel better when we are sad. Putting information to music can help us remember that information, like the 50 state songs that help the fifth graders remember all the states and capitals for their upcoming test in a few weeks. This final song is a message Mrs. Sands wants everyone to take with them. Here is Sing, Sing a Song. Got one more. One more. Have a seat, Mrs. Sands, and enjoy. Have a seat with your family. Have a seat. Just sit. We've got this. Just gonna wait for them to get set up.
On any given day, when you were on the second floor of Whitfield Elementary School, you could hear the joyful noise of a very talented piano player and many little voices singing their hearts out. For 22 years, Mrs. Sands played and sang with all her soul and took us along for the ride. Over the years, the students sang about school being great, just like chocolate cake, and the importance of silence in the halls, whoop, whoop. And of course, all Whitfield students could spell the name of our school because Mrs. Sands taught us to sing, "We go to WHITFIELD."
Mrs. Sands has taken us through each holiday with all of our favorite songs, from Core Clifford Skeleton and Fly Fly Witchy to the 12 Days of Christmas and Here Comes Peter Cottontail. We're also introduced to some classic movies such as Mary Poppins and The Sound of Music. Music class wasn't all about singing. We also had traditions each year of learning some line dances, like the Cha-Cha Slide and the Cupid Shuffle.
Mrs. Sands is often the first smiling face we see at the pond door as we enter the building. All of us look forward to the day 4 when we get together as a whole class for chorus. We don't know how she does it, but she manages to get 98 kids all on risers for 40 minutes singing with all they've got. It is easy for all of us to see how much Mrs. Sands loves music and what a talented singer and musician she is. Her love is contagious, and we are grateful to have been a part of her last year at Whitfield.
Thank you. This evening, we have had an enjoyable evening of musical accomplishments. Mrs. Sands, your accomplishments go back in this auditorium to the days of your high school time, where I believe that the gift you were given at birth was nurtured into a talent. During my teaching years at Whitfield, I first met Mrs. Sands as a music mom. Her 2 sons were always well-prepared, successful trumpet students. And she also gave me a wonderful story to share with my students about being very careful with their instruments during the excitement of a spring concert. You see, Mrs. Sands drove over her son's trumpet. I am certain that story saved other families and perhaps even one of you this evening from the same problem. During your job, Mrs. Sands, as mom, you went back to school and received your degree in music education. And then you joined the Whitfield team. Well, I was at your interview. Did you read my speech? I was at your interview along with an administrator and the music supervisor, but I was sworn to be a silent observer. That is not something I do well. I did my best until I observed that the non-musical administrator was being impressed by the candidates that I felt had limited piano expertise. Each candidate came in and played a selection well, but I felt that it had been a learned piece. So I broke that promise of silence, and I asked the candidates to play a piece from memory, a standard piece for a vocal music teacher, like America, My Country 'Tis, that is the same thing, America the Beautiful, America, or Happy Birthday. And boy, did the limitations begin to show. Some declined, and others played basic chords. But when it was Mrs. Sands' turn, she began to perform, and I think she used all 88 keys. She combined the 3 selections into a medley. She played them in different styles, like jazz, and had a conversation with us while she was performing. I think that sealed the deal. From that moment on, she took the students at Whitfield, 600 plus at that time, plus the staff, and she used her music to turn us into a community. No matter what activity was going on at the building, whether it was with the guidance counselor, the speech teacher, the librarian, or the PSSA tests, She took her compositions and unified us into one. Phyllis, it's been a privilege to be your colleague. Your music touches tomorrow. It may even touch eternity. As you leave this building tonight, as you begin your journey of retirement, please go in peace, knowing that this task you did was good, and we cherish that you shared your gift with us, and now these students wish to share it with you.
Would you like to say a few words?
I feel like I cheated you guys out of a good story. I was so proud that the chorus director asked me to play the piano for the chorus. He couldn't do the two at the same time. Oh, I was so proud. My son was playing trumpet. I carried the trumpet. I sat it down next to the car. I pulled out, and something didn't feel right. I remember saying to my son, "Did we hit the curb?" And we went on our merry way. And then about a half hour later, we got a phone call. You ran over your son's trumpet. So parents, I know it's hard raising kids with instruments, but You don't have that story on your past. I get that brought up all the time. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your children's lives. Wow, 22 years I've been around here, and you know, it's really an important job. Hard, and I found it. I can't do it anymore. It's getting old. It's crappy. But thank you for all my memories, and thanks for coming tonight. Thank you, everybody.
Okay. Wait, over there? Them? Okay. Thank you, Mrs. McCrae, for taking all your time running the extra mile to get all these kids from your time. For Mrs. Cassis in 5th grade. You've been so helpful, and thank you. Mrs. Kogan, you have been so helpful as well as Mrs. McCrae by being such an awesome drummer. Thank you guys. You guys rock.
Thank you. Okay, that's for you.
Okay, everybody, have a great night. Don't forget to take your kids home, and I'll see you later.